Welcome to Whiteboard Project Management YouTube channel. This is Roman with you. In this channel, we explain the tools and techniques used in the project management in a practical way. So if you are new here, consider subscribing to this channel. So you just created your project schedule and now you moved to the phase of monitoring and controlling your project tasks. What are the steps you need to do in order to start controlling your project schedule in a proper way in Microsoft Project? In this video, I'm gonna show you the 6 steps used in Microsoft Project to set your project and start controlling your project schedule. Coming up. Okay, welcome to the next workshop of WPM. This workshop will be specified for defining the 6 steps required to control your schedule. In the previous workshop, we explained how to create the Microsoft Project schedule. We created a simple schedule. Today we will continue with the same schedule. So if you haven't seen the previous workshop, go to the previous episodes of WPM and you will see how we created this simple project. So now I have on my desktop the project which we made before, and in this episode we will check this project to continue with what we finished. Okay, here we go. Now we have this project set before. We used 4 activities, A, B, C, D, and we said by ending of each activity we have a milestone A, and by ending of activity B, we have a milestone B, and we defined accordingly. So we assumed that the project is behaving in this way. Okay, we also set the resources. So we have a resource sheet. We explained some resources, some material, and we assigned those resources directly to the tasks. So you can see from the resource usage that those resources, which we called it A small, B small, C small, accordingly, are linked to each activity. Okay, let's go to the Gantt chart. Now we have this project, and this project needs to be improved. Now, if I will copy those tasks and paste it just right here. Okay, the finish milestone, I will move it to the end. Okay, and let me rename this as that was activity A. So I have C, D. So we have E, milestone E, just to make this a little more complicated. And this is activity F, and this is this. This is F, activity G, milestone G, and activity H. Okay, I put this for a reason. I will come to it. Okay, so I have now activities from the project has activities from A to H. Okay, now the, the resources kept the same. I'm not going to change the resources. So I'm assuming that I have activities which are the same activities, but we use different activities using same resources. Okay. So here we go about the activity durations. This is, I will assume that this is 1 day, this is 2 days, this is 1 day, and this is 4 days. Okay. Now the link of those activities. Let's check that we have those activities as, let's put here as start to start, start to start. Okay. So now we have this schedule with different conditions. I added those activities for the reason that you can see that we have different types of connections and different type of activities. Okay. Important thing, when you have the schedule, you planned your activities and your milestones, you put the durations, you scheduled all of them, and you have the predecessor and successor of each activity. Now, you have a standard calendar. That means all your calendars are set for all your activities. You are correct. Now you need to do something. You need to check if your start and finish date fits the requirements of your contract conditions. You have some strategies you can follow in the contract, uh, and you can follow them here, right here in the uh, in this Microsoft project. So, what are those things? Okay. Now, first thing, you can do activity crashing. Second, you can do fast tracking and resource leveling. So let's hit one by one. Okay, activity crashing. Activity crashing means that if you have an activity and you have the duration like this activity, the duration of this activity is too long and you need to short the activity. The activity is in a critical path. Critical path means that from start to end, you have start and finish, and there is no spare duration, no spare time. This is the critical path. So here you can see that the critical path, they are those activities, which are activity A, followed by activity B, and followed by activity D. And it's finished by the end. So this is the critical path of this project. While this path, you can see that there is a floating time. Same for this path. You have a floating time, means if those activities are delayed, you are not causing a delay of the project. But if activity A or activity B or activity D are delayed, you are facing a project delay. Okay, that means when I want to crash and reduce the project, I have to crash those activities which are in the critical path. How I can crash it? I can crash it by adding more resources to do the work earlier. Okay, so if I consider that I have here now 8 days and I need to reduce it, I can add more resources to crash this activity. Second methodology I can use, which is fast tracking. Fast tracking means those activities, if I have it here and I want to move them, I can move them like, sorry, I can move them like 1 day. So I just moved the full thing to right because I have the floating time. So it's a fast tracking. A fast tracking means that I am starting two activities in the same time. Okay, two activities in the same time in parallel. In parallel, I'm moving in parallel for those activities like activity A and activity E. Same time for those activity B, F, and H. I'm starting this in the same date. So this is the fast tracking. Next part is the uh, resource leveling. That means I need to level my resources. Okay, let's start and let's check if I can see the resource usage. See, now resource A has 16 hours in 1 day. In Tuesday, the resource A is overloaded and is using 16 hours. Same for Wednesday and same for Tuesday. You can see that it's overloaded with 16 hours. While here, resource D has already 24 hours. This person works 24 hours a day. This is non-realistic. So you have to do something. That means your project here, this project is not real. If you put it in this way, it looks okay. But when you want to make it into execution in the correct way, you will face problem that this person cannot be divided to many activities at the same time. So you need to do something, and this is the resource level. Okay. So I'm going now to level all resources, and you will see how those activities will be shifted. So which resource I want to level? Okay, let's go back to the resource usage, and you can see that I have resource A, B, and D are overloaded. So A, B, and D. Okay, the rest are working okay. A, B, and D. Go back to Gantt chart. Resource levels A, B, and D. Level now. Here we go. And we have all these all these activities has been delayed. So I will view the entire project so you can see it. Okay. So you can see that this activity is now interrupted. It started, then interrupted. Those dots are interruption of this activity. So the activity starts, interruption, and it ends. If I will go back before resources, and I will add here one summary, okay? Insert task, and I will add I will put it as summary, okay? So you can see that the full project, okay, starts with standard, okay? The full project's duration is 14 days. Now, let's level the resources. Level, we said A, B, and D. Those are working overtimes. I need them to work full time only. So level resources, view entire project, and here we go. The project is shifted from 14 days to 20 days. So those are the real project things. Those are the tricks you must use. The mistakes which most of schedules and project managers do, that they just plan the Gantt chart, they don't assign the resources, then their Gantt charts are not realistic. When they go to execute in the in the practical way, they will find some problems and they will say, I'm out of resources. What shall I do? Then they will start checking outside resources and others. So here we have some interruption of this activity. You can see that those activities has been shifted. And now let's see the resource usage. Oh, here we go. We have only 8 hours. And you can see that all resources are working smoothly. We set in the calendar that the resource is working 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. Okay. So he is working 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. So I can see that the resource A is working for those durations and this activity and assigned to those activities. Okay. Now, after I fast track my project, I crash the activities which I want to crash, and after resource leveling, now I need to start with my 6 steps to control my schedule. Okay. What I usually do once I have all my predecessor and successor ready, I can see that I have links. Only milestones could finish, so I'm properly linked. That my calendars are linked. So I'm hiding those. I'm just hiding them. Okay. Now you need to insert columns and you start. Insert. Okay. So there are a set of things you need. There are a lot of things could be done here. Uh, first thing first, you need to make your baseline. So this is my schedule. This is my schedule, which is ready. I submit this schedule for approval. I get the approved from my management, from my client, from my stakeholders. Everybody agree with it. Now I have to work only with the approved version of the schedule. We said in the episode of defining the 6 steps and creating the project schedule that you work only with the approved version of the schedule. The approved version is the schedule baseline. That means I need to make a baseline here to make it ready. So let's make a baseline. So I will set my baseline. So I said set baseline, okay? And set baseline for entire project. Okay, the project is baseline now, okay? Now here, double click, I will say baseline start and baseline finish. Okay. Next thing, insert task, baseline duration. Okay. I'm gonna hide all what is not a baseline. Okay. So I have baseline duration, baseline start, baseline finish. Okay. Next thing, percentage complete. Okay. When I have my percentage complete, I'm usually doing other things because you have here the actual duration. You can add it. Those are the dates which are important for you to be added. Some information you have like here. actual cost work performed or actual work, okay? Actual overtime cost, actual overtime work. Those are all information. You can add so many lines over here, okay? There are a lot of variances and durations and whatever. So let's work now with the baseline. Baseline. So you have baseline cost. I have a cost of each activity. What else I have? Baseline duration already, baseline estimation duration, um, baseline estimation duration. Okay. Then you have here actual start, actual finish. Okay. Actual start and actual finish. Okay. You can add so many lines as you want as the data required from you in the project. Let's be enough with this. View entire project. So I have my entire project over here and I have all my activities. So I know that my baseline now is costing me, the project is costing me 18,100 US dollars. I can see that each activity cost me how much. Now we set the baseline and we said, okay, let's set the current date. I have my project started here, assumed to be started in this date, and today is this line. So I'm going to say, okay, this is the project, and let's start with my today. So I will say, okay, status date. It's 15th of February 2021. So I will set my date. Okay. I will hit OK. This is the second part. So first part, I put my baseline. Second part, I updated. I make my project current date, set my project current date. Now, third one, let's start updating those activities. Actual start and actual finish. So this activity had to start on 7th of February. So let me assume that I started this activity on 8th. Okay. Don't worry if it's only hashtags because the format. Okay. So I already started this activity and the percentage completed, we said during the actual percentage completed, you consider it according to the estimation, according to the rules you put in the attribute, what are the weight of each document or each work done here. So from activity A, I could say that 70% has been finished. Okay. Milestone A cannot be finished because the activity is not finished. Activity A, this is the milestone actually. Okay. And here we are saying that we are starting this activity on 8th. So I started this activity on 9th, and this activity is 80%. So you can see that this activity is 80%. If I will put this activity with 100%, so that means my milestone is 100%, and my milestone already started with the same date. Milestone 0 and 9th of February. Okay, with 0 days. Actual duration 0 days, 9th up to 9. Okay. Now activity B, this one. Okay, this is the tricky where I want to show you. Now this is the line of today. So this activity up to today, it was planned to be finished with some percentage. If I'm saying that I'm updating my schedule, the actual starts with the same as the baseline. That means 10th of February. 10th of February, the activity has started, and work completed has been completed up to today. It's 80%. So you can see that I'm exceeding actually, and I'm ahead of schedule because of today. But if I will say that I am already 40% only or 50%, so you see that I am actually behind the schedule and I am already delayed. Now, when you put all these updates up to today and the other activities has not started because they are behind, and you can say, okay, but I already started with this activity actually, and I started it, actual starts, I started it on 10th and I finished already 50% of this activity. Okay. So when you start this activity, you can see that it comes earlier. Okay. Once you finish each activity individually, you updated each activity individually. From you put the actual start date, the actual percentage, and if the activity has been finished, so you put the actual start and actual date, actual finish. You have the actual duration, okay, and you have baseline duration. Here you can put the duration variance, and this is the variance which is showing to you how you are deviating from your baseline duration. Okay, this is just like a check site for you to see whether if you are in schedule, behind schedule, or whatever. Let me hide this so we can see more on one place. Okay, now we set the baseline, we set the current date, we put the actual percentage, and now we need to update the project overall. Okay, let's go to project, and we said project, update project. Okay, update work as completed of today, set 0 to 30%, set 0 or 100%. Okay, normally you set 0 to 100%. And now we need to reschedule uncompleted work after. And this is the date of which you set this, the status date. Okay, important for you. The status date is 15th of February. So that means you need to reschedule uncompleted work to start after this date. That means this part of work, which has not been completed, to be rescheduled after this line. So I hit OK. Just don't show it. Okay, here we go. And it's all set. It's all get behind this line. Now you can see after you update all your schedules, now you will add your forecast. Start and finish, or estimated or not estimated. Okay. And you can see that you have a start and finish as a forecast for your schedule. Okay, see. Now you can see that here from this, let's say that this, the milestone, the finish, when you set your project, you said, I'm going to finish the project in 20 days. The baseline finish is 5th of March, okay? But now the forecast is saying that on the 8th of March, you only finish. So there is a delay between your plan, your baseline, and your forecast. Those dates can be returned back to the baseline once you are keep updating the project regularly, and you can analyze. And now we are reaching to the 6th point of your project's controls, where you have to analyze your results. You have your result. You can see that you are delayed. And what shall you do? You say, oh, I am already delayed. There is a problem. What shall I do? So don't panic. Go back. Your schedule is correct. You have to do things to go back to schedule, because you are deviating from your baseline and you are deviating from your plan. Now you need to go back to your plan and to monitor that you are really back to plan, or you will be ahead of your schedule. What shall you do in this case? You will see that the critical path has been delayed, and the critical path has been delayed while you have a resource leveling over here. So the things is, either you will speed up with this activity, so you will short the time. Speed up means crashing, or this activity is delayed because you are using the resources in another activity, which are in another activity here. So those activities, if they are delayed, there will be no problem with the end of the project. There will be delay only of those group of activities, which will be shifted a while, but there is a floating time. While you can use the resources, here, added to this activity, which is already interrupted because there are no available resources. And once you feed your resources from those activities to this activity, you will be back this activity back here, and you will be back to your schedule. So those are the tricks which you need to do during your project schedule controls. Let's see now the resource usage of each one, and you can see that, okay, during my actual project, I am overloading my resources, and I need to reschedule my resources, because the plan and the forecast is not only for the Gantt chart, but they are also for the resources required. because the resources are the important part. If your plan is not set according to your resources, your Gantt charts will be only graphs and it will look good, but you will not be able to estimate your project. So the 6 parts need to be taken care during your project. Schedule control, you need to set the baseline. We said how to set the baseline. You put the here the start baseline, finish baseline, and duration baseline. Then you need to set the current date over here. Then you need to put the actual percentage of each project, of each activity, and the set the actual start and actual finish. Then you need to put the project overall schedule updates, and you reschedule the tasks which are not started to start after the current date. Then you will see your forecasts. And once you see your forecast, the 6th part, you need to analyze the results and do the proper project management actions to get back to your schedule and always be in schedule or ahead of schedule. If you didn't understand anything, feel free to send me an email or write a comment to this video. I will be happy to re-explain it once again. The Microsoft project is very easy, and you just need to follow simple steps to create and deliver a great project which is real. In the next workshop, I will use the same formula here where we just stopped, and I will explain how we create or we generate from this project, from this Microsoft project file, the reporting, the cost reporting, the forecasts, and the comparison between the plan, the forecast, and the actual, with the tricks to be used, same as here. So thank you for watching this episode and this workshop, and hope that you enjoyed and learned something new. See you in the next episodes. Thank you.